Spurgeon here with RevZilla, and today we are going to take a look at the Merlin Rowan Jacket available at RevZilla.com. So if you are not familiar with the Merlin brand, that is because they are new to us here at RevZilla. This is going to be a British manufacturer established in 2011, and really their goal is to create unique vintage-inspired cotton wax pieces, but they want to incorporate new modern technology. So you will have the nice wax cotton to keep it water resistant on the outside, but you're going to have a full sleeve Reissa waterproof liner in there. You're going to have CE rated armor. So let's start with sizing for the Rowan. On my left-hand side, I have Mr. McHugh. He stands at a commanding 6 feet, weighs in at 220 pounds, and he measures his chest at 44 inches. When we threw him in this jacket, he is currently wearing a large. Now, when we looked at Merlin's size chart, it recommended that he would jump up to an extra large, so keep that in mind. You're going to want to bump down one size from what the size chart recommends for you. Now, sizes are going to range from small up to a 3XL, and you have two different colors to choose from. There will be an olive drab color, and then you're going to have the very stylish black that Mr. McHugh is modeling on my left-hand side. So like I mentioned earlier, Merlin is a new brand to us, and really what they've done is they've incorporated the technology you'd expect from a motorcycle jacket, CE armor, full Z liners as far as the Reissa is concerned to give you real waterproof protection. But then the construction on this is going to be an 8-ounce Halley Stevenson Scottish wax cotton. This is something that's going to be very nice to the touch. It will have a very long, history behind this, so it looks like something that could come off of a steamship from the 1900s, but it will keep you safe in the event of a crash on your modern motorcycle. Now, the Rowan jacket comes in around the $350 price point, and in Merlin's line, it's going to sit just below the Kingstone. Now, the Kingstone, if you want to bump up to that, you're looking around the $380 price point for that one, and what you get is a little bit more of a military line to it, and you're also going to bump up as far as the thermal is concerned and a slightly different wax to it. With the Rowan, this is going to utilize a silk wax, and the difference between a silk wax and a dry wax, it has a very damp hand to it, and it just has a bit more of a thick feel when you actually touch the jacket itself, kind of a heavier feel, and it feels more like that classic wax that you would expect from a wax cotton jacket. Like I said, the full construction is going to be that 8-ounce Halley Stevenson cotton, and then you're going to have the armor coming into play as well as all the different pieces here. So let's start with the top and work our way down. Mr. McHugh, just kind of tilt your head sideways for me for a second. That magnificent beard is just hiding our little collar with this. You will have a Velcro collar to the top. You're going to have leather binding on the side of this. And as we work our way down, you can put your head straight again. On the top of this, you're going to have YKK zips. The vents on this will vent to the Reissa waterproof liner, so you're not going to get direct venting. The Rowan, think of this as two-season mild weather climate. Think fall, think spring. You can push it a little bit into the warmer months, and it will have that full sleeve 100-gram thermal liner. It's not going to have the 120-gram thermal liner the way you would find with the Kingstone, though. So again, more mild climate oriented with something like the Rowan. Like I mentioned at the beginning, you're going to have CE armor in the elbows, in the shoulders. It will be a Safetech armor. The thing that I really like about the Safetech armor, it's a nice comfort armor. It's flexible, it moves with you, it doesn't feel overly bulky, and it really works with the look of the jacket. Mr. McHugh, I'm going to hold your hand up for a second here. You will have a bicep snap on the inside, so you can adjust that down if your arms are a little bit thicker, or if they're a little bit skinnier, you can fine-tune that. And then at the cuff for this, 2 snaps to the cuff. And it's very similar to what we found on the Sandon jacket. Leather binding around here, 2 different brass snaps, and then a brass YKK zip. Really makes it easy in, easy out. Then you can adjust the cuff for where you want that to sit. Working our way through the front, again with that Velcro at the top for the collar, brass buttons are going to cover with a storm guard over a full YKK zip. And then you're going to have 4 cargo style pockets. And if we just pop one of these open, you'll notice they're not going to be a lined pocket, so it will be that wax cotton, water resistant, but you're not going to want to put any electronics in any of those pockets. Full belt adjuster for this, really nice classic vintage inspired look, and you're going to have hand warmer pockets behind those bottom cargo pockets, so a total of 6 different pockets on the front of this while maintaining a really nice long length. This is probably going to be the longest jacket that we're seeing from Merlin at this current point in time. Mr. McHugh, I'm going to have you face sideways. Throw the hand up in the rider position like you're cruising down the road. One of the things you'll note, really slight pre-curve to this, so it's not going to be aggressive. You're not going to be, zipping down the road in your full-on sport bike, but the slight pre-curve to this makes it much more comfortable for you to ride on a motorcycle while still maintaining comfort when you're wearing this day-to-day around town off the bike as well. Adjuster at the waist will come in the form of that belt. And at the hips, you do have a 2-position snap adjuster. And the one thing that I'm not too fond of here, and it's the same complaint that I had with the Armitage in Merlin's lineup, is that if you want it in the fully expanded position, there's no third snap to give you that. So what I would have loved to have seen is a third snap for those of you out there that have a little bit more around the midsection that wanted it all the way open. It would have just given you an option to have that done without having that flap around. Now Mr. McHugh is svelte enough, we can go ahead and snap that down, and it fits him quite nicely. Sir, you may face backwards for me. Starting with the top, working our way down, one of the things that Merlin does really nicely is there's not a ton of branding on here. Really clean lines. It's not going to come across as very flashy, very traditionalist. The only thing you're going to notice, a little bit of a Merlin embroidered to the top of the collar. You can see that leather binding working its way all the way around the top of the collar. And as you come down to the bottom, clean lines, clean finish. You will have a 10mm foam back pad in this. It is just a placeholder. Do not confuse it with a back protector. The first thing I would recommend doing when you get the Rowan home, grab that pad out of there, throw it away, and put a real back protector in there. A force field size 001 will fit absolutely perfectly. As you work your way down, you can see again with that full coverage to the seat, there will be a connection zipper there. If you want to match it up with the matching Merlin pants, you can do so. You can connect it and give yourself a nice 2-piece suit. Mr. McHugh, face forward, and I'll have you on Velcro, the top, and then we're going to work our way down, get that belt off there on snap. While he's working his way down with this, brass buttons covering a YKK zip. You have a full storm guard on the outside to make sure you're not going to have water pushing through. And with that full Reissa waterproof Z-liner in there, you are going to be nice and dry. So the one thing I want to point out as we're working our way through here, Pat, is you are going to have a YKK zip with a Napoleon pocket on the left-hand side. This is going to be on the outside of the zipper. So just keep that in mind. Go ahead and finish on snapping on zipping. So YKK zip on the left-hand side with a Napoleon pocket. Holding the right side open, you are going to notice you're going to have that quilted liner. This is that 100-gram thermal liner. Remember, if you step up to the Kingstone, that's where you get to the 125. And you're also going to notice with the Kingstone, it's going to be a plaid liner, so a little bit more of a nice classic look to it. On the inside of this, you're going to have a full mesh slip liner. And this is, again, if you have that thermal liner out, you're riding in the warmer months, helps to wick sweat away a little bit. And you can see just around the back to the bottom there, it is going to be that full that 8-inch connection zipper if you want to match that up with the pants. Sir, you may go ahead and zip back up for me. Now, while Mr. McHugh is zipping back up, keep in mind there's a lot of different options in the Merlin line. And the Rowan is going to be a nice classic look, and it will be the longest jacket that they currently have in their lineup. So just keep that in mind. There's a lot of different pieces out there. And if you want to hear more about what other riders have to say about the Merlin gear they're currently rocking on their rides, remember, click the info button on your desktop or mobile device, and it will allow you to read other rider reviews from folks that are already using these jackets on their motorcycles. If you have more questions for one of our gear geeks, give them a call, 877-792-9455, or simply type them out an email, cs@RevZilla.com. Thank you for joining us for this look at the Merlin Rowan Jacket. I'm Spurge. Enjoy the ride.